Undoubtedly, Novak Djokovic, at 38, has achieved everything the sport has to offer. Whether it's the most Grand Slam titles or being the longest world number one. But beyond his success, he's also a loving father. This is because he makes a clear effort to keep the world number one Novak separate from the dad Novak. Even with a busy schedule that has him traveling almost all year, he stays close to his children, Stefan and Tara. They share a strong bond, and it wouldn't be surprising if the kids followed in their father's footsteps someday. But will they? Well, here's what Djokovic had to say about that. Novak Djokovic recently sat down for an interview with Piers Morgan on Piers Morgan Uncensored. There, he opened up not as a tennis legend, but as a careful and responsible father. Morgan mentioned that it's inevitable for comparisons to be drawn for Stefan if he ever joins the sport. He asked Djokovic if, despite that, he would be okay with his son pursuing tennis as a career. Novak smiled and said, "I'm slowly trying to introduce the world of tennis and sports and all of these things to him, and I can't throw everything at him at once," he said. But just how much will Djokovic back his son if he chooses to follow in his dad's footsteps? I'm picking and choosing the right moments. So if this is the journey that he chooses to have, I'm going to be 1,000,000% behind him, supporting him every step of the way, in whatever shape or form, he added. Over the years, fans have often seen Stefan by his father's side, spending time on the court and even rallying with him at major tournaments. In fact, the young tennis enthusiast was spotted practicing with his dad at the 2022 Wimbledon Championships. Talking about his son's growing interest in tennis, Novak Djokovic added, "My son seems like he's choosing to play tennis. I feel excited and frightened at the same time. I think he's got some good genes in him, you know." For Djokovic, who has achieved everything in the sport, seeing his son pick up a racket is a new kind of joy mixed with fear. Having lived through all the possible pressures of tennis, whether it's the endless travels, the sacrifices, the mental toll, or the constant comparisons, he knows exactly what that path demands. The loneliness, the emotional ups and downs, they're all a huge part of his job and his life. He, as a father, only wants to be sure that when Stefan takes up tennis, it's out of love, not expectation. But what is interesting, though, is that Stefan did not begin loving the game because of his dad, but rather because of one of his greatest rivals. Probably the greatest. Novak Djokovic's son has a tennis hero, and it's not his dad. Nevertheless, despite all of Djokovic's remarkable 101 ATP Tour-level singles titles and his unmatched tennis legacy, his 11-year-old son, Stefan, is not his biggest fan on the court. Rather, Stefan is a big fan of Rafael Nadal. Novak even laughed as he recounted a memory of Wimbledon 2022, saying, "My son was cheering for Nadal. Every point that Rafa made, Stefan was jumping around and fist-bumping like Rafa." Novak even observed that his son attempted to imitate the famous forehand swing of Nadal. Novak also recalled how he once showed Stefan who Nadal was on the court. "I was showing him Nadal. This is the guy who hits the ball very, very hard." When he sees him, he says, "Oh, you're the guy who hits the ball very, very hard." Even though Novak gives Stefan tennis tips, his son still prefers copying Nadal's style instead of his dad's. With time, though, Stefan's tennis favorites have started to change. In 2024, Novak Djokovic revealed with a smile, "In the last month, for my son, Nadal is no longer number one. Alcaraz is his favorite now. He really likes both. He imitates the way they play, Nadal's forehand, and the emotion. It's beautiful." It's clear that Stefan loves the sport and enjoys learning from the players who inspire him most. And this love for the game has recently led to some memorable moments on the world's biggest tennis stage. This year, Stefan has been enjoying his time at Wimbledon. He's been seen wearing a white hat covered with autographs from several players, though one signature is still missing, his father's. He's over the moon. Obviously, he loves tennis. "Yeah, he has everyone's signature except mine," Novak Djokovic said with a grin. "But that's okay. I'll accept that." Stefan has even hit a few balls with Italy's 22nd seed, Flavio Cobolli, who is set to face Novak in the quarterfinals. Surrounded by tennis legends, Stefan Djokovic is clearly growing up in the heart of the sport and loving every moment of it.